Hey there. So if you've ever wrangled data in Python, you've probably run into this exact situation. You've got related pieces of info, but they're stuck in separate lists. Today, we're going to take that clunky setup and turn it into something way more elegant and powerful. We're going to turn those two lists into one awesome dictionary. Let's dive in.
Okay, so check this out. This is a super common situation. We've got a list here called dog to owner, and inside of it are, well, more lists. Each little list pairs a dog's name with its owner, right? Pickle with Iris, Rex with Saul. Now, at first glance, this might seem like a pretty logical way to organize things, but trust me, it's got some hidden traps.
And right away, we hit our first snag. Let's say you need to find out who owns Rex. With the data set up like this, how do you even do that? It's not nearly as simple as it should be.
Well, you're stuck remembering the exact position or index of the data. To get Saul, you have to know he's in the second list at the second spot, which in Python is dog to owner 1-1. Now just imagine if this list had thousands of dogs. Trying to find one by remembering its exact numerical position, that would be an absolute nightmare. Yeah, that's just not going to scale.
But here's the good news. Python gives us a much better tool for this exact job. And that tool, my friends, is the dictionary. It was basically built to solve this very problem of mapping one piece of information to another. And just look at the difference here. It's night and day, right? On the left, you've got our clunky old list of lists, but on the right, you have a dictionary. See how clear that relationship is? The key pickle points directly to the value Iris. It's just so much more readable and, intuitive. Just makes sense.
And this is where the magic really happens. To find Rex's owner, you don't have to remember some random number. You just use the dog's name, Rex, as the key. You pop it in the square brackets, dt square brackets Rex, and boom, Python instantly gives you back the owner, Saul. It's clean, it's readable, and it is unbelievably fast.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's that a dictionary is a completely different beast from a list. Instead of storing values at numerical positions, 0, 1, 2, 3, it stores values that are mapped to unique keys. That key is your direct line, your label, to the exact piece of data you're looking for. Okay, so we're all on board that dictionaries are the way to go. But how do you actually make one from those two separate lists we always seem to start with? Let's look at the first and probably the most common way to do it.
So let's imagine a classic setup. You've got one list of keys, maybe name, age, and city, and then you have another list with the corresponding values, Alice, 30, and New York. Our mission is to merge these two into one perfectly structured dictionary.
It's basically a simple three-step move. First, you just take your two lists. Second, you use this brilliant little built-in function called zip, and it pairs up the first items from each list, then the second items, and so on. Finally, you just wrap that whole zipped up thing in dict, and Python does all the heavy lifting for you. And here's the best part. It all boils down to one beautiful single line of code. Res equals dict of zip keys values. This is what developers mean when they say something is Pythonic. It's short, it's easy to read, and it's just incredibly powerful. Now, that dict.zip method, it's fantastic. But you know Python, there's almost always more than one way to do things. So let's look at another really slick shortcut that kind of builds on this same idea. So what we have here are two different paths that lead to the exact same destination. On the left is the dict-zip trick we just learned, and on the right is another powerful one-liner. It does the exact same thing, but it uses a different syntax that starts and ends with those curly braces, just like you'd see if you were typing out a dictionary by hand.
This second way has a name. It's called a dictionary comprehension. It's a really fundamental concept in modern Python that lets you build dictionaries super quickly, all in one line. Now, the syntax might look a little weird at first, but its real power is that you can build logic right into it, like filtering or changing the data as you create the dictionary. It's an absolute must-know tool for any Python developer.
Okay, so we've got these cool ways to make dictionaries, but let's circle back to the why. Why are they so much better than just, a list of pairs? Well, the answer really comes down to one thing: performance.
I love this quote from a discussion on Stack Overflow because it just cuts right to the chase. Don't use a list of tuples if you need to map keys to values. It's that simple. If you need to look things up, a list is just the wrong tool for the job. You need the tool that was designed for exactly that purpose.
And this table, right here, honestly, this is the whole ballgame. When you look up a key in a dictionary, the time it takes is what we call constant time, or O of 1. It doesn't matter if you have 10 items or 10 million items, the lookup is pretty much instant. But with a list, the computer has to scan through it, one item at a time. So the bigger that list gets, the slower your search becomes.
And get this, here's a little bonus that might surprise you. This whole efficiency thing isn't just about speed. You'd think that a dictionary, with all its fancy internal structure, would use more memory, right? But for really large data sets, the opposite is often true. A dictionary can actually be more memory efficient because Python doesn't have to create a brand new tuple object for every single key-value pair.
All right, so there you have it. You've seen why dictionaries are the clear winner for mapping data, and you know a couple of great ways to create them from two simple lists. The next time you find yourself counting on your fingers to find an index in a list, you'll know there's a much better way. The only question left is, what are you going to build with it?